use this clip to start off this segment because you've been wondering where I am, probably, with that newest one after on the rails. And it turned cold. And in fact, it's warmed up, but the inside of the barn here is still cold. I've got the doors open because it's warmer outside than it is inside now. And hopefully in the next couple of days it'll warm up more outside that I may be able to put a heater on in here. I don't want to waste any electricity just to do this for a boat I'm not going to use for a couple months anyway. So, got the plunge blade on my Milwaukee. I've got a block set up here so I can use that as a straight edge. I don't get my... Well, that seems to do it. I got a nice square edge there. Let me switch over to the other side. I don't know if you saw much of that or not, but you can see the cut right there. This helps tremendously. Got a little strip in here because of the curvature of the hole. I had to make a longer strip in order to get underneath the, to grab it up in here. So this thing's in place now, so let me... Excuse me, I need to put my mask on. This is nasty smelling stuff. Got a little squaring up to do, but it's out now. I can fill that in. The two parts are cut out. I've got the little remnants. And so I'll take some material I've got and cut some blocks to fit and epoxy them in place, and then shape it afterwards. And then I'll probably go ahead and put another coat of marine varnish on this, just to give it a spiffiness. So I went through a lot of boxes trying to find a piece of wood this size that'll fit in here. It was some old rail material, and I knew I had a couple pieces, but it took me a while to find it. It was in a box at the very bottom. I had long enough piece to do both sides, so I can go ahead and epoxy those in place. I'll probably use gel magic because it'll fill up the hole a little better and squeeze out. Have the two blocks installed, filler blocks, got them gel magicked in, and this was all I had left of the remnants of rail material at this height that would fit well. So now I get to I'm going to take my cabinet scraper. I need to probably sharpen an edge on it. Pull off the squeeze out. And the other thing I can use this thing for is staining. I can't remember exactly which stain I used on this, so I'm going to have to do some practicing to see what I've got. Let me come back once I get this down, and then I'll go around this over and then the bottom side too. went down quicker when I used a couple passes of my low angle plane and then finish up with the scarf. Come along, there's a little bit where the old piece was in here, there's a little bit of where it stops and becomes straight there, so I still like doing this by hand as opposed to using a router. Looks pretty good now. My arm's going to be in a way. Well, maybe I can see it underneath. Rounded over. I think it's down to the point where it's sandpaper only now. And we need a fresh piece of sand. Go back a little bit so you get a little better view. Some of this area here where the when I popped off with the chisel that pulled a little underlying wood. Okay, let me fine tune the other side and we'll come back. I don't know if I had the right stain. I had one jar that I think may have been the one that I couldn't get the lid off of, but it came in pretty close. I can't really see it in the video, any changing here. It'll be a lot different once I get the varnish on it too. But this probably had a layer, 2 layers of epoxy on it on the older stuff. And then probably a layer of varnish on top of that. So I may paint and sand a little bit of epoxy over this, or I may just, I think I'm probably going to go ahead and sand all the rails and give them an even coat of varnish. Probably a coat over here first and then sand it and then do the whole boat. So we'll see. And I've got the thing all sanded down and ready for, I've got some brushes. And everything is ready, completely sanded down all the way around for a couple more layers of marine varnish. System 3's got some new marine varnish I haven't tried out yet, and so I'm going to give that a go, but it has a 50-degree minimum temperature, and it's not that in the barn, as you can tell by my winter outfit. So I'll see if I can do that later you know, if it warms, like I said, if it warms up a little bit more, and especially inside here, then I'll maybe kick in my little space heater and bring it up to, you know, like 60 degrees and get a couple coats on and then call it quits. I may at the same time, if it stays warm in here, paint the inside too. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do another complete primer job. I probably don't, because I've already got most everything primed anyway. All I need now is put on a couple top coats, because the interior has already been painted with several layers of marine paint. So, but I need to give it a good sand again. I've got most of it sanded down, but I want to go over it with some more sandpaper and then wipe it down with a damp cloth a couple times, get all the dust and stuff out. But everything's cured, and so then I can get on with that, and hopefully the next thing I'll do is a new mast for this thing, because I've got that new Neil Pride sail coming of a smaller size. It'll be somewhere between a 50 and a 52 square foot sail, so it'll fit in between their 36 foot Optimus sail and their Pram 64 sprit or gaff sail, which I helped them, you know, suggest on the design. So we'll get around to that when it comes to it. So I'll see you guys later, and hopefully it'll warm up a little bit.